Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin.
Ah,
Hello. Oh God, this one again.
what one?
You're not showing up on stream again.
That's my cloak of woven darkness. Means people can't see me doing this.
No, they can't. Windows, I hate you. Let's see if I jump to there and then back again.
Some viewers may find
This, nope.
Hello,
This is
darkness,
just
my old
fantastic.
friend.
Oh, let's see.
Never look behind the curtain, Dave.
Let's see. Is he back? No, he's not. Why the fuck doesn't it work? Is this working?
Have you pushed button A to speak to an operator and push button B to reject coin?
Can you people in chat at least hear him?
I love the Les Dawson version. I don't know what the Les Dawson version is.
So they can hear you, then I guess we'll have to make do with...
If you're at home and you've got access to googly eyes, just stick a pair of googly eyes to the black bit of the screen. If you don't have googly eyes, Tip X and the Sharpie will do the same job.
Oh, Sharpie is a very good idea. Also, where is he? There he is. So there's a camera. Hey, Jerry Ken.
What?
All bits and pieces.
Booyakasha, motherfuckers. I wouldn't get this with the Plastic Crack podcast. Probably, I don't know.
I could tell. I need to...
Let's share.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
As you can see, no Jerry. only his disembodied voice.
Yeah, well, you know. I'm like God in that respect. Oh, no, better. This is the voice of the Mysterons. You gas cunts shot up our place. Now we're going to fuck humanity. Fuck you, Americans, and your shoot first, ask questions later policy. I'm very sure that's word for word how Captain Scarlet started.
I'm guessing you're probably right on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
Humanity visits Mars or visits the moon and immediately attacks some alien civilization because they're there. Gung ho fucks.
Well, that's the way we've always done it, isn't it?
SIG, Demon Sub. SIG. Bum, 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 bum,
so, welcome everybody who's there tonight. We're going to look at some projects that contain battle reports.
Battle reports. I didn't pick any of these. I don't know what's in here. Timberly did it while I was away because I've been
having a
working.
wank.
Yeah, I wish. Not as much fun. What's this?
Oh, Soap Dodger, if I had the technical abilities to do so, I would. It would be very tempting.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd be like Werner Brandis. My name is Werner Brandis. My voice is my passport. Recognize me.
Well, technically, you could be like, what's his face? Oh, God.
Stephen Hawkins.
No.
/ Davros.
The voice of Darth Vader. God.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yes, who just sold his voice to Disney.
Right, I'll be dead soon. Do what you will.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, you know, fair enough. Tell you about it. I imagine audio deepfakes aren't far away if they're not already here.
Oh, they are already here, but he made it quote-unquote legal for them to use his voice indefinitely as Vader, so...
Well, I don't mind that because the alternative is ending up with a Kermit the Frog situation where Kermit, after Henson died, just sounded wrong.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, it's like, hey, Miss Piggy. What? That's not Kermit. What the fuck's this?
Kermit got a human in his throat.
Yeah, very much so. Dee.
Welcome. Darth Kermit. That's an interesting suggestion. So to start off,
is that why they killed him, Crispin? Made it look like suicide. Oh, that's at Disney for you. They are right bastards.
Oh god, that's a dark path to go down. Apple Mac has done Solo Adventures of Solomon Kane.
Yeah. Now we have a conclusion there, despite the project still ongoing. So that's a conclusion to presumably that chapter. Yes, it is, because we have other chapters below. So this is quite interesting. So each scenario or chapter has been set up and narratively written, along with a very detailed explanation of sort of rules and mechanics as you go, which is quite nice because it does explain some things if you're interested in. I was going to say if you're interested in Solomon Kane, but good luck in getting it if you are. Then who knows if that one will ever actually be available for people to get their hands on again.
What was it, a Kickstarter only, or?
Well, yeah, it's Mythic, so they're all Kickstarter,
okay,
aren't
yeah.
they? In some cases, they're not even that. There's Taffy. It's your Solomon Kane arrived, Taffy.
Wait, I'll get the salt to rub it in even deeper.
Salty salt. But I quite like the fact that it has that narrative thread running through it. So you do get the introductions, you get a bit of here's how the mechanics bit goes, and here's the interesting things to keep an eye on, like the stat dashboards and stuff, so you can see how people are being rolled over by the stuff they're coming up against. But the main body of the text is actually a written narrative by Applejack, so it's Apple Mac. Applejack's something different. That's the Malaysian trilogy or whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah, I quite like it.
Yeah, it's a very thorough write-up of all his adventures, and I think that gives you a really good taste of how it is to play the solo game.
It also has Frenchisms in it. So much better, monsieur, said Gaston, stepping back. I wish Gaston would talk to the French company that's lost my fucking parcel. Pricks. I wonder if I just type to them, because they say they don't understand English, so they're not going to deal with that because they're French. As we learned from Babylon 5, who knew the great ones were French. But anyway, but if I just type stuff in a low style into the chat, so ho type of thing, even though I'm still asking my questions in English, but with an outrageous French accent, just mess letters and shit like that, would I get a response then? Probably.
Yeah, and they might send someone with very comfy white jacket.
Well, they're France. They're not going to send anybody. They're certainly not sending my fucking parcel. But yeah, interesting little thing. There is a first page starting off with the Rattle of Bones.
Yeah, so it's a very long project to start with.
It's not a long project. It's only like 2 chapters on the first page.
In comparison to the other projects.
No, it's not always about length.
You keep telling that yourself, you huge, large person, you.
Yep.
Looking down on almost everybody.
It's not that the water in the toilet bowl is cold, it's that it's deep.
Is it already toilet humor time?
Always.
Okay, yeah, I guess, especially with our dear friend and connoisseur of weird movies, Crispin, in chat.
Don't be connoisseur of weird movies. What weird movies does he like?
I'm not going to repeat some of those titles he mentioned.
No, you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I like not getting banned.
Get banned. If you get banned, just flash whoever's banning you your Norks and you'll get away with it. Like one of those hot tub ladies.
I wish. I wish. Flashing. No, there's not much to flash.
No.
No.
Boobs. Boobs. But yeah.
Flash Gordon, Slope Dodger. Yes, Flash Gordon.
Oh, Flesh. Hey, I'll tell you what, we can easily work out which is the better film. Flash Gordon didn't get a sequel. Flash Gordon did. So, stick that one in your pipe and smoke it.
You're dying on that hill, are you?
Very much so. Flash Gordon was any good, people would still be talking about it and looking at the sequels. Unlike the majesty that is Flash Gordon. That will live on forever in our dreams and nightmares. Sometimes both.
In alternating sequences.
Oh yeah, it's like going through a fever. It's hot and cold flashes.
Literally.
Yeah.
So the next battle report is by our dear friend The Days.
The Days. Dun 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 dun. For the internet, you go for whatever you can find. That is very true.
The Days did Firefight Mantic, Forge Fathers versus Enforcers.
Yeah, it's very good for several reasons. One, he includes the army list, so that's always good, so we can see it and then criticize it. General Kenobi. I mean, for example, there's 5 Rec here, which I'm not sure whether or not they were stuffed into an APC, but the fact there's not 9 flamethrower wielding fuckers leads me to believe he's doing it wrong. But is what it is.
Well, and I thought Legion and Fantasy Flight Games were using a lot of markers and dice, but that's at least it looks like a lot.
Well, it depends. Unlike Fantasy Flight Games, you don't need to put any of those markers down. The big ones are objectives. So the big red thing with the crosshair on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the smaller markers you just use to mark off units that have activated or if they've, been pinned or something like that. But in comparison to Fantasy Flight, it's practically token neutral. You don't, if you can remember shit, then you don't even need them. So.
I also very much love his terrain. I looked at where he got it from.
It's a game at EU.
Yeah, I think it was.
We've a set of it in. Well, you'll see it later on because there's a set of it up in Coleraine, and it features in another battle report later on that was done up in Coleraine.
Sadly, it's not very cheap.
I got the APC at that point. Oh, that's okay. Thank God. Whew. It's beginning to panic there. Yes, beginning to panic.
Yeah, so this is a shortish project by him.
But it's a very different style of battle report as well.
Exactly.
Now, if you're reading this, Sundancer, and you feature it on the Hobby Hangout, I would like it read in the style of Julian, please. That is a request in the project.
Who's Julian?
Well, there used to be a Julian Simmons who was a continuity announcer for Northern Ireland TV. He was very camp and flamboyant and very Belfast.
Well, since I don't know how he sounds, I can't really comply with that.
Oh, that's terrible. It's entirely possible he's talking about a German YouTuber called Julian. Because I think there's one who he's been doing Moonstone battle reports recently, but he used to do something else. Anyway. But wait, the Dace is there. He will tell us eventually.
Dace, tell us.
Yeah, there you go. See Julian from the Moonstone ones. He's great. Yeah, you should do that.
Oh, that's...
While you go off and discover what he sounds like so you can read it. Actually, it's really weird because he tells jokes, which Germans don't do. Because you have a sense of humour. So I'm inclined to believe he may either be a blow-in or Austrian.
What's his channel name, The Days?
Oh, you're going to make me open a window, for fuck's sake.
Well, I've got...
No, that's fine. No, I'll go ahead.
Googling Julian Moonstone brings me weird artists, but nobody doing something.
Yeah, because that's not how you do any of that. For fuck's sake.
But how would I know?
I don't know how you would know. That's not the question we're asking here. Oh my God, goosebumps. Anyway, being interviewed in a recent podcast. Oh, cool. Well, that's good. What was I going to say before I got distracted by stuff? Yes, Stug and that sort of thing. No, currently not, because they're just doing infantry. If they want to do those boxes, it's multiple sprues for multiple tooling, which they can't really, get up to.
What of the Breach? Is that the one?
That sounds about right. Yes. Yeah, because he did Malifaux. I couldn't remember what the other game was that it was named after.
Oh yeah, he says his name is Julie. Let's have a quick gander at his voice.
But not fully. The Baron
You do you, son. You do you.
Still scribbling in his book. I wanted to thank you for your help.
Other infantry are coming, Crispin, eventually, and the aliens that were never released. Infantry as well. The actual vehicles and stuff. Never say never, but it's currently not on their plan because it would essentially take up 2 or 3 months worth of releases to release them because it needs to be across like 5 or 6 sprues. So they'd lose half a year just to do one vehicle.
Well, let's give this a try. This battle was hard fought. Thoughts after the battle. Getting first activation from turn 2 onwards is quite powerful, especially when you double activate. I had a bit of an advantage from the start. Quite a few of Sam's weapons were pinning, but most of my foes are headstrong. Get rid of pin for free on a 5+ roll. I didn't fail a headstrong check all game. Go, go, go was a very nice ability for the enforcers, and I need to look out for that one. Sam, my opponent, played a great game and is a fantastic wargamer. The pins flyer and my good rolls on Headstrong really helped me a lot, and the results could quite easily have been very different. If you are reading this at Sundance, that link didn't work, and you feature this on the UHH, I would really like to have read it in the voice style of Julian. Please.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah. Interesting. It's a more mechanic or technical battle report because we're looking at what's happening and the effects that we're seeing rather than getting a narrative style, which I think is actually harder to do because you can sum up a whole turn in a couple of paragraphs or even a paragraph of narrative nonsense, whereas trying to not miss parts of a technical readout are harder. It also tends to become a lot more. Sorry, I'm stuffing my face with that. Well, I'm not sorry, actually, I'm stuffing my face with licorice. Fuck yous. It becomes a lot more dense as a read, the more turns that you play out. But yeah, interesting. I like it. Like I say, I like the fact that we have an actual list as well to go with, even if it was missing an APC and 5 more Dragon Breath wielding cans.
And Orinoco Twitch actually asking a very valid question. How long did the game take? It looks very quick because only 3 pictures, but that might be just an imagination.
Oh, while he's doing that, by the way, can we also say kudos to having a Peter Gilder wargaming picture as your banner for your wargaming thing, because that's fucking amazing. For people too young in the audience or too foreign, Peter Gilder wrote the worst set of Napoleonics that I've ever read or played. I won't hold that against him, He's a really good wargamer, but fuck, I hated it in the grand manner. I'm just seeing what points value that was. That's 992 points, 1,000-point list. We played myself and Paul played a 2,000-point list as our first game because I wasn't paying attention to what I was building army-wise. And we still played, I think we still played the whole thing in about 2.5 hours. And that's like playing a 4,000-point 40k game or something.
It sounds like it scales very well with points.
It's much, much faster. Yeah, just over an hour for 1,000 points is a standard game big game should be like 1,500 points. Obviously, I didn't bother reading any of that, despite having been part of the beta test and had been making 900-point lists for some time. So whenever myself and Bo went to play, I was like, well, you can get a really nice list of vermin with 2,000 points, and you really can. It was fucking filth deluxe. But yeah, that needs to be throttled back somewhat.
Well, there's always next time. What is next? I think we have Dark Denigan again.
Dan, deeper and Dan.
And again, yes. Oh, and also I need to give some here loving comments before venturing on.
He can hear us.
Yeah, I know.
Type things.
But my inner monk.
Oh my god.
I need it.
I don't know what's happening. It's all very confused.
There it is.
I don't know.
Dark Denigan doing 5 parsecs from home.
Yep, we're only here because there's a Westphalia Marrow Legionnaire with a pistol in the banner picture there. That's the only reason we're here.
I very much like the top-down view of the battlefield.
Which either, you know, playing on one of those tiny Japanese tables that's like 30 centimeters off the floor, or standing on a chair. How are you doing it? Because I've tried taking top-down battle report pictures just standing beside a table, and they never quite come out that well. I don't have the elevation, which is saying a lot for me.
But maybe your tables are just too high.
Well, that is true. They're all sort of waist height. But anyway, 5 parsecs. This is a substantially chunky one. And I think it was awarded a golden button in the past. So impressed by the parsecs and the 5 we were. And if not, then that's Ben's fault. So
it not only is a battle report, it's also some painting stuff, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, it's all encompassing. It's all about the 5 parsecs as a whole, be it putting together the crew. Oh, I did, yeah. There's a golden button there. Well done, me, for remembering that. Yeah,
and the same terrain again.
Same terrain, but also different terrain.
Seems to be very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Popular.
Yes, thank you very much. Popular.
You're welcome. Taximica. But again, another narrative battle report, which are, you know, good crack. Just long arms on the lower table. You cheating bugger, you. How do you find doing the narrative battle reports? Because I really enjoyed whenever I was doing the narrative battle report summations for the Saga campaign I ran a long time ago. But then I had people going, can you just tell us who won and who lost and who the next game's against? Because we're trying to work it out from your narration. And they were getting confused because everybody had a warlord and I used their warlords' names to do all the stuff. So it was like, you know, Crispin's son was murdered up. And so Crispin's son was then butchering things. But these were names they had given me for their war bands. It's not like I was making this shit up. They went, we're doing this, and then this is the mission we've rolled, and blah, blah, blah. And here's the outcome. And then I would write a little bit of fluff for it. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, but it's the best digression because I really like these story-like battle reports, even though I barely find time to read them all. Which is a shame. People really take the time and creativity in a completely additional form to just painting, building, and playing.
My religion. Yeah, I imagine it would add to the time a fair bit. But it's one of those, like people say everybody's got a novel in them, which is a lie unless you've had it forcibly inserted. Because at no point have I ever gone, I really want to tell a story about something. But I would have no problem sitting down writing narrative pieces for a game, simply because it's the structure's there. You don't have to think up who did what to who. It happens in the game. All you have to do is change those dice rolls into a bit of text. So, you know.
I think the worst enemy at that point is when you start being too much self-critic about your writing skills when you're writing a battle report, because it's just a recap on events that happened. So
never been that worried about them.
You might not, but Crispin obviously is, because he says he can't write shite, which is a lie because he just wrote shite.
Maybe he means you can't write with shite, in which case I suggest freezing it and then carving the top of it into some sort of pencil.
We all know
don't lick the nib.
Frozen shit is a very dangerous murder weapon.
Yeah, well, it's one way of doing it. But yeah, and it's a honking big project. Is it gonna? When's our last update to it? August. Yeah, there's room for expansion there, isn't there?
He might even try to make himself get another gold button for that.
The Fallout campaign I'm planning is going to be another level of story generation.
Fallout has its 25th anniversary this week. So there's an opportunity to...
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
25 years ago, Fallout was released.
Versus is 29 years old.
Well, Wasteland is even older because it's the predecessor to Fallout, so...
Yeah, but Versus is an excellent album, whereas I've never played either of those games and I don't care. It's actually, I tell you lads, next week, this week, Lightning Bolt is 9 years old. Although it's not as good as Versus.
Well, we should stumble into the next project, I think.
Right, okay, stumble like a city defender into a penalty area.
It's from Demon Sub.
I know him, I've seen him. He's the red name in the chat, not the green name or the brown name.
Dangerous Deeps and Rangers and Shadows.
Yes, and I'm glad he is in the chat, by the way, because I seen Merlin there on the extremity. And my first thought was, I should buy that Merlin model. And then I looked at it again and went, that's not the Merlin. No, it's not the Merlin model that I want. This is a different Merlin-esque model. Where's he from? Just saying. Where's he from? Because I was thinking that there's a Merlin model from Highland, whatever the fuck they're called now, but it used to be Studio Miniatures, but they sold all their fantasy ranges, and he is very much just Merlin from Excalibur. Also, I heard somebody talking about Excalibur recently, and they said it was a shit film, which point I really felt like cutting them.
Who dared saying such things?
Somebody on the internet, and I didn't want to argue with somebody on the internet.
No, you don't.
Because I've got too many arguments with people going on the internet, and it's hard to keep track.
Oh, I guess you mean...
Otherworld. Ah, okay.
You're talking about this chap here, the dark-robed guy with the silvery helmet.
Yeah, he looks like Merlin, except he's got more stuff on him. So he's a more Frostgravey / rangery type. He's more of a jobbing magician wandering around.
It's Merlin the Apprentice days.
Yeah, the old Studio Miniatures Merlin is just staff, skull cap, black robe, no extraneous was. He's light. He's trimmed away the fat. The chaff has been separated from the wheat. He's ready for the offing.
Oh, Dandy, that's very nice. Oxon will do a YouTube charity stream for the creator of Fallout 1. And that's. Do you happen to know what time that is? Roughly around. Best. Not too late. Why do these green guys remind me so much of Jawas?
It's because they're robes. People were allowed to have robes before Jawas, you know.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh,
all sorts of people had them.
That's new one for me.
A lot of cultists. Yeah, it's an interesting mix.
Green.
For all you battle reporters in the chat, have you ever used something like Battle Chronicler to do maps and stuff? Because I quite like that, and then I like the action shots. But do you remember the old GW battle reports where you would get the
green squares?
Yeah. And then it would have the military style markings, so you could tell infantry, cavalry, that sort of thing on them. And little arrows going, this guy's gone round here and bop that guy, or this guy shot at him over there. Just curious.
Yes, James, it's a computery thing, but it's very easy to use.
I'll tell you how fancy it is. I can use it. That's how fucking fancy it is.
I deliberately didn't say that. I thought to myself I wouldn't be that rude tonight, but here I am.
Right. That's very good of you, and unusual as well. I'll give you that as well.
Because I'm not drinking brown stuff, I'm drinking black stuff tonight.
Oh, right. Staying away from Hitler's juice. The Devil's Wee, whatever it is it's called. I can't remember. Whatever your brown stuff is called.
You don't need to know. Because you don't buy it, so...
No, you're right, I don't.
Oh, and remind me that since Christmas is coming, to send you another package of licorice.
This is the last of Recon's licorice, and since he passed away, I won't be getting any more from Australia.
That's a shame.
I did get him. Oh man, well you can't see it because there's a vase. Oh, well, you can't see it because it's all black anyway. There's no screen. There's a licorice advent calendar behind me.
A licorice advent calendar?
A friend sent it to me from, well, it's a Danish licorice company. It's like an £86 advent calendar.
I shouldn't be too...
I haven't had an advent calendar since I was a kid, but I'll fucking take a licorice one, I'll tell you that.
I shouldn't be too surprised that there's something like that, since almost everything is available as an advent calendar these days.
I think they do these all year round. I don't think there's tied specifically to Christmas. So if you're ever looking to count down a date, you just buy yourself one of these things. And I will be.
I still think I'll need one of those from Faxe.
From Faxe?
No, Faxe. F-A-X-E. It's a beer brand.
I know them.
Yeah, they come in 1 liter cans, and they do a 24 can advent calendar each year.
Nice. Yeah, that's probably the way to go.
The only trouble is you need to have some space to accommodate for it.
Going for less wordy and more pics now, that seems to be popular. Yeah, it's weird. People like, the advent calendar. Hang on. Let me get one of the other packets here. The company is called, I'll have to type it in because it's Danish. While I'm typing this in, yeah, people tend to be illiterate these days. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but even if you look at people who do blogs, people's about you probably be able to tell you this. A 6-picture story with like a small little like 2 or 3 lines per picture will get far more people checking it out and staying with it to the end than 2 pictures and then a more in-depth battle report. I know people say they don't have the time, but how much time do they spend doom scrolling their ass off through social media like twats and Twitter?
But at the same time, that's not really reading, that's just skimming text.
That's their UK office. They've got many things all over the place.
Lakritz by Bulo.
I will say their dark truffle licorice is fucking amazing. Their caramel stuff is too Moorish. Get a small jar of that because it'll be gone within about an hour of you opening it. At least mine was. And they have a Danish whiskey, which who knew the Danes had whiskey? Presumably they stole it from us around about 1300 years ago. But it's like a dark toffee licorice, and it's so intense you can't taste the whiskey. It's a bit of a crap shit. Anyway, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and I don't think it's because people are getting illiterate. The attention span of most people has just gone down
Illiterate, can't
dramatically.
read. That's why all the buttons in Burger King and McDonald's just have pictures on them. That's
Oh,
why.
yeah, okay.
I love the wordy projects. I enjoy spending time reading people's stuff. I probably should make more comments on things, but I follow so much stuff I don't get a chance to. Sort of, I read it and then I button it up and then move on. But yeah, I like them. I like the mix. I'd like to see some more with maps drawn by Battle Chronicler in there. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get Paul and we'll play a game. Paul, play. Well, I was threatening to play Saga with him in the next couple of weeks, so I could do like a battle report and then put in like arrows and stuff and show you where the Crusaders are going. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
You like putting your what in Ben's who?
Don't remind him. When you were just talking about all the fast food joints having icons and not text to choose your menu, I remember reading a Shadowrun novel ages ago where that was exactly the problem, where some young kid started net surfing and couldn't barely read, so he only went by icons and somehow still managed to hack.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but that gave me a very, oh god, this is where we're heading, isn't it?
Yep. I beg your pardon. Apparently the calendar's only about 50 quid, but then the additional other things. I just looked at the one that had the big bottles and stuff with it. That was 82. Anyway, yeah, licorice calendars. Booyah.
Licorice calendars and battle reports, and what's the next? It's where is he gone? Did I make a comment?
It's right there. Did you make a comment? Oh.
I did make a comment.
Okay.
Next then is very short. DB Wright, a Dawn of Iron, and it's a YouTube video.
Was it a murder?
Couldn't tell you. I haven't watched the video yet.
If you ambiguate that so the kids can see it.
You really think they want to see that? So there's...
Yes. So this was actually something I brought up as an Indie of the Week. So I'm claiming responsibility for this. It's a print and play game of the period sort of between the American Civil War, ironclads becoming the next big thing, and the end of the Age of Sail. So you had that period where you had sailing ships running up against sort of ironclad monitors. I believe he says in the video that he made the tabletop simulator himself. So even though it's print and play, he's playing it virtually there, which is, clever. I wouldn't do it myself, but it's clever.
Yeah, I guess it helps showing off to people.
Yeah. I really enjoyed looking at Scary Biscuits because it's a phrase I used to use an awful lot anyway. And the games themselves were really engaging for such either a small outlay or incredibly free. And they had a ton of games that were print and play on his website, including little card games like the mountain climbing game and stuff like that. They were all good. This is one of the more involved. And as you can see there are actual ironclads available from companies, and people have been making them 3D prints and balsa buildings and all sorts of stuff. But here he is with his version of the Dawn of Iron on the Tabletop Simulator. So you can watch a playthrough. So it's a video battle report like what they do in the
it's a bit
the YouTubes.
That his channel name is Analog Wargamer and he's playing purely digital at this point.
Yeah, but it's an analog game.
Yeah.
Oh, the ships from Peter Pig. I don't know where those ships were from. I don't think so, because I think I looked at them in the Indie of the Week that time, and they were an American company, I think. But yeah, can't say it was written down, so I didn't bother reading it. Fair enough. But yeah, it's just an interesting way, especially for something like that, which is a small game from a small company, more or less done in his spare time during lockdown. He knocked this sort of thing out. So it's not something that gets it. You're not going to see it in a club or on a large channel. Well, it's not on our channel, but fuck that. But you probably won't see it played on our channel because boats with rigging. Fuck that. So it's really nice that somebody has put the time and effort in and then did the battle reports so people can actually see, because it's one thing to look at a rule book and to go, well, I could print these out, or I could pick up these ships, or I could make my own cardboard versions or whatever. I'm not going to. Then you don't really get the idea of how the game plays. But the fact that you can see it in all its drunken glory is great.
Yeah, James, I think I just saw when I googled the name of his channel, a little was popping up playing that game.
I must have missed that one. Quack, hey.
I'm pretty sure I just saw them when I put in Dawn of Iron. Yeah, 6 months ago, review of the rules and something more potentially.
Rig, all the things. I think you've dropped an F there. I've corrected it for you. No need to thank me. We'll accept licorice in lieu of thanks.
And maybe even money.
Oh, it's fine. No, just licorice. Licorice is grand. Yeah.
Breaking ships.
Oh, that's a bit dull. Yeah.
Who's dull?
Milan got somebody sent off and Chelsea are 2-0 up.
Oh, okay.
It's very dull.
I was wondering. So after this very short GB Write impression thing from April back Monday, the next one would be a wee bit different.
Yes. It's 1 page worth of rules.
By Warbost. I think that's the one before the one you mentioned on the last weekender.
Did I mention one the last weekender?
Yeah,
I don't think I did.
There was mentioning of a battle report by Warbost.
Nah.
On your part. Pretty sure.
No. No, that sounds right. I did mention Warbost in the XLBS because we were talking about this 1 page rules is a bit dull, but had nothing to do with battle reports. It was solely about the dullness of the game.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Yeah,
being not very distinct armies.
Yeah, how can you tell that army's that army?
Well, you look at it.
Because it's got these stats. But other things also have those stats. Other things can fuck themselves.
Headless trolls.
That's one way to terrify your opponent, like a Vietnamese fighting force from the Middle Ages. Cut your own head off.
And then charge.
Oh, Saga would be a great example, Doug. Look, pink horrors.
Very pinky.
Not the good pink horrors. That used to break into blue horrors. And then would finally die. Some sort of shit horror these days.
Well, since this is 1 page rules, you could play them as...
Ooh. I hadn't even thought about that, Hazy Boy. Well, funnily enough, whenever because I haven't played Legion since fucking forever, and I'm looking at the stuff and I'm going, what will I do with it? I have the old West End Games D6 miniatures game. I was going, I could just play that. But yeah, 1 page rules might be interesting for a bit of the old back and forth.
Stargrave potentially.
No, Stargrave's not big enough. No, because I want to play. I want Star Wars to be. It's weird. It's like the massively multiplayer online games. Star Wars and
Galaxies.
Star Trek failed massively. Two of the biggest IPs out there. They failed to be a free to play game. Likewise, Star Wars Legion, through cocaine shipments and their inability to fucking produce models in a timely fashion and keep them in stock, and then couple that with all the shit of the day on the tabletop.
Oh look, Warboss
just
is
sort
there.
of sucked the joy out of my Star Wars life.
So he says one page rules, the pink still splits into blue.
See, perfect. That makes so much sense. Why they don't do it fucking fantasy was beyond me, but anyway.
Well, fantasy's dead, so now they're not doing it in Age of Sigmar because reasons.
And again, this is another montage meets, so not narrative, but a more technical display of what's going on, but a bit more structured. So you get the blurb first, then you get the pretty pictures to look at afterwards. Or if you've got two screens, throw the pretty pictures up on one screen while you read the stuff on the other.
And also, he has some fries with it on the side.
I can't even remember what they did in the 8th edition. I'll tell you how annoyed I was by 8th edition. I have several boxes of the plastic horrors and several boxes of the plastic demonettes when they started releasing all of that, and I never got around to assembling them. I was just like, I just can't even be arsed with these. You just sit in the fucking... But somewhere in this house there are multiple demons. Well. You can use your blue and brimstone models as proxies to make a fucking huge horde of pigs. Oh, well, that's okay then.
Welcome, Gare Pramanik.
Booty, big man. Booty. But yeah. How much...
How long did the game take?
Yeah, because it's a 1,000-point game. Are they still pegging it at something similar to Whamster, where 2,000 points would be your norm? Rain in Hell. Yeah, but I don't have a book for Rain in Hell. I've just got a PDF, which means I can never play that. You laugh all you want. I can't. I won't.
I only laugh because you've brought that up multiple times, and I'm so on board with that because I can't read PDFs to save my life. Even the smallest amount of PDF gets printed. I need to have the copy in my hand. I blame getting old man's eyes, so reading on the screen really is fucking annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's how I parse information or what, but I can flick back and forward in the book to my heart's content. I was trying to work out Dystopian Wars fleets last week because I had to work out what I was going to build, and it meant having to reference one PDF for the fleet list and then two separate PDFs for the build of the ships because it was two different boxes, and I was constantly having to go, okay, this one can have one unit of that, must have one unit of this, can have up to 3 other units of this quality, and then go back to the other PDF to start scroll up and down through them to see which ones I could build. And then I was going back and forth between 2 screens and 3 fucking PDFs, and it took me about 2 days to build the fleet. I was like, if they'd just been in paper, I could have bashed them out in a couple of hours. But it was just frying my head. By the time I'd scrolled down one and then scrolled to the other screen and scrolled down it to see what I'd assembled and what I hadn't, I was baffled. But anyway.
I think it's also to do with if you got something like the Hero Hammer Crown of Command magazine, you have 2 pages and your whole field of view is just focused on your reading material. And on screen there's so much stuff that just takes away from focus.
Yeah, JMS. Both Dystopian Wars and Wild West Exodus, I've left Justin to read those because they melted my head. But at least if they were in paper, I could flick back and forth and stick little bits of paper in there.
I think Jerry has a printer, but he doesn't want to print his rule book if there's a physical copy.
I've got a printer, but what I don't want is to end up having to print out a 50-page rulebook or 90-page rulebook, whatever it is. It's just, it bothers me because I don't like having lots and lots of fucking fluttery paper around.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the next on a docket?
Next up, Home Raiders.
Home Raiders by Lorna. This is a bit of an older project, but it checks out.
Books are awesome.
I think it's the only project that's marked as complete. The other battle reports, even though finished, are marked as in progress, which is a bit irritating to me, but you do you.
Very true. So, this is specifically a solo battle report, but not for a solo game. There are links to stat cards and rules if you are interested in kicking around and fighting out. I quite like the look of some of the Home Raider stuff, because the whole idea was they were tiny little thieving borrowers running around your table and kicking the shit out of each other, which is great for me because I'm a messy bastard. I mean, you can't see because the camera's not on. But there's so much garbage on this table beside me that if I was to play a game, line of sight would be restricted to maybe
an inch.
2 inches. Yeah, it's you'd be on top of each other. And for a lot of Home Raider stuff, it works really well because I like that whole borrowers thing. But then there's other bits and pieces that just seem like they don't really fit as far as I'm concerned. They're a bit too technologically advanced and different, and we a little bit wild. They're geezers, the borrower type things, the little the gremlins and Lilliputians and that sort of shit. That's all fine, and then there's other weird stuff, and you're going. It starts to look a bit like any other miniatures game without feeling like you're playing tiny people on a tiny tabletop. That is some of the most wide open spaces I've ever seen.
Yeah, and this might look like just an ordinary table setup for some gaming, but actually that's terrain. And I really like that. So somebody just passing by at a convention would be, what's this? Why are you putting miniatures on top of cans?
It's the next step of human evolution. I like the idea that if you set something down on the tabletop, it becomes terrain. If you left your pint glass halfway through the game,
you can never move it again.
Straws. Yeah, I think that's it. I think they needed to add more to keep it fresh / interesting, and I think it suffered because of it. I'm not sure who owns it now. I want to say TT Combat. Sprawn died.
Yeah, sadly the link at the beginning of the project seemed to go nowhere because I clicked them and nothing happened.
Yeah, so that was the old Vespron page. So it is gone. Yeah, so you've got your Lilliputians, you've got your gremlins. That's all fine. And then they added shit like a Firefox centaur, right? So there's satyrs, fawns, and centaurs that are all still small enough to hide behind a can of Coke. I'm fairly certain that centaurs in Greek mythology were big fuckers. So none of that fits. And then you've got shit like the mummy Egyptian penguins. And it makes no fucking sense at all, Commander based. But anyway, that's a rant for another day because it's nothing to do with the battle report.
Well, that never kept us from going off the rails, did it?
Hey, am I done? You don't know. You're not the boss of me.
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Well, Doug, unfortunately, I've been off filming at the studio, so I never looked at the project system. I haven't looked at it since Thursday last week because I've been too busy building and painting a fucking fleet over the weekend for filming.
After parcels have been delayed, rerouted.
Fucking 24-hour post arrived 7 days later. Pricks. Unlike the French, at least it fucking arrived. Anyway.
So the next and at the same time last project for tonight is Robin Quigley Mini.
Yep.
And he does well, it's Games Workshop.
Well, Whatever happened to Conquest? Oh, Conquest is still going. Conquest is going stronger now than it was a couple of years ago. It seems to have built a bit of traction. Now there's a few more factions for people to actually get into without having to suffer repetitive strain injury from cutting the sprues. I do little bi-weekly chats with one of the guys from Conquest. Or do you mean actual gameplay videos? Because I do video chats every 2 weeks with Konstantinos.
For professional reasons or just for fun?
Professional reason. On the whatever that thing is I do.
Well, that weird work thing that needs to be done every now and again to get money for minis. And again, this terrain.
Oh, we were building 4 armies, Crispin. So far, I've completed 2 armies, and nobody else has completed any armies. So, probably in the new year, we're going to get some stuff filmed. But we've got Dystopian Wars this week, a lot of stuff for Osprey's Undaunted series coming. So there's like Warcrow, then Dystopian Wars, then Undaunted, and then I'm filming board game stuff with Phalanx in November. So I imagine it'll be early next year. It's definitely interesting for the narrative, especially because you can combine it with the skirmish game First Blood. So you can kind of do bits and bobs. But yeah, somebody may or may not have heard me rant about somebody forcing Shay to play 40k, despite the fact it took them forever and they never finished, and then the bloke left and they never got a resolution to the game, and they didn't want to play one-page rules. I'm not saying that was this gentleman in question. But what I'm going to say is his opponent there is Shay and his Tyranids, and they didn't finish that game. You can draw your own conclusions.
You're being serious now, are you?
Oh yeah.
Oh god. Oh, in case Shay, you're watching this.
Shay's not watching. Shay doesn't care.
See.
Do you Shay, you gas can? No, see.
I think he doesn't even care about you insulting him.
No, he doesn't. No, he has to put up with me whenever I have to come into work to film stuff.
So I'm guessing
that's punishment enough.
This will be the first and last project block by Robin Quickly Mini.
No, because eventually, after several weeks, he knuckled down and gave one-page rules, Grimdark Future, and try and went, this is really good. It's so much faster. Yeah, we're just going to play this from now on. After, no, I don't want to. I want to play 40k to actually we can finish a game.
At times, I really am afraid that however they did manage to do it, that Games Workshop actually made people feel like addicts to their games.
I don't know.
Maybe they put something in the plastic that's a contact poison or something.
Well, I used to say it was cocaine in the paints, and every time you licked your brush, you got a little bit more addicted. Yeah. Or maybe they use nicotine as mold release. So every time you buy a new sprue, you get a little bit more addicted, and whenever you stop buying them.
Yeah, that's very much possible, but maybe that's why the contrast paints are so successful. It's even more addictive.
Are they allowed to lick that? I didn't think they were.
Whoever cared about something being allowed or not?
The police. Fuck the poo-poo. Is that what you're saying?
Cup.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, so this is a short list of battle reports. I was a bit disappointed to see so few of them in the project system. There's
probably more, but they're not tagged as battle reports. In fact, I know there are more, but they're not tagged as battle, so they're part of a bigger project. It's just been put down as like miniature painting and building type of thing.
So battle reports tagged as such are 57, and these are 9 of the first 12 I had found, and 3 of those I dismissed immediately because they had been part of the show lately, so no point in revisiting them.
Sons of bitches. Why would you revisit them? I wouldn't revisit them.
No, even if there, especially when there's nothing new in it.
Well, you know,
See,
if I had seen it, it's new to me.
There's your problem. Tag him as battle reports and then make him private, so you definitely will be visited by our friend here, and then maybe some golden buttons.
Who's our friend?
I don't know. I don't have any friends.
No, neither do I. I can't remember who was. Somebody was doing something. Oh, that's right. It was all the ones across from Corvus Belli for the War Crow filming, and every time we finished filming something, they'd all be on their phones immediately. I looked at them, and then
what are you doing?
Carlos was going, "Oh yeah, you know, the minute we come out, we've got to immediately go onto our phones. We're so addicted." And I went, "No, that's fine. I mean, if I had friends, I'd probably be on my phone as well." I don't.
I would put out the theory that people are most addicted to their phones have the possible least friends. Oh, what's that?
Oh, that's a link to Medieval Wargamer, who's a really nice Greek gentleman. And that's specifically about doing something with Battle Chronicler, how to use it, how to tag things, how to insert your own pictures and shit, or icons or images whenever you're building your forces, because you can actually use Battle Chronicler to play games. You know, you can literally put a game together on there and play it, so it's good.
I think I've seen you do this before.
I did it somewhere. I'm going to say there was a project or something once that I used Battle Chronicler in. No, I know what it is. One of the very first War Console campaigns, big summer campaign, was a Kings of War one, probably for 2nd edition. And I did all my battle reports as a mixture of photographs and Battle Chronicler. So you actually got this unit moved to this flank and engaged here, or this shot there and did no damage, or this routed them, and you can put big skulls in when people get routed and stuff for the full White Dwarf feel. But you, like I say, you can also make your own stuff and play games on it as well.
Amanda has graced us with her project link. Let's jump in there for a short time, because we are still within our tightly scripted 30 minutes.
I don't think I did I? I'm very confused. I've no idea what I've done anymore, and as Jerry can, to be brutally honest. Panzer. Hello, by the way. We were talking about you earlier. Were your ears burning?
Oh, he was here earlier.
Did he? Whenever I was talking about how people can't read anymore, and if Panzer was here, he'd probably tell you, because he has a blog.
Yeah, and he did.
It's all about pictures.
And he did.
Okay. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm either squinting at one screen or I'm keeping an eye on the football on the other.
Oh,
not really paying attention.
Oh, look, it's...
Saga.
Heavy side lighted, big shadows, very action.
Big shadows, side eyes. See, I told you, some of them are in there, and what they're tagged as is correct. But I think that the problem was they came up with a tagging system before they started populating the projects and stuff. So what is a campaign to one person is a battle report to another is a blah 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 to somebody else. Who knew the blah blah blahs? Yeah,
it's always a definitions.
Yeah, I've noticed that you've painted up some more. Were the mercenary Greeks, Amanda, by the way, for your Age of Hannibal? I was in not the best house, but I did see that the other day.
Mercenary hoplites.
Nice. Yeah. Mercenary hoplites, kind of filth. I always watch you. You may think I watch the fucking projects in the forums. I keep an eye on you everywhere.
Yeah,
if somebody puts paint on a miniature and posts it, I see it. Then I rub my legs like Princess Leia in a gold bikini.
I imagine you sitting on the train home or to the studio with your laptop, with your tablet, and going, "Let's see what these people are doing."
With a tablet?
Or your smartphone?
I don't have a fucking tablet.
Why not?
Sounds hilarious. The fuck would I have a tablet? I can barely use a phone.
A business device?
No, I use a PC. That's what I use.
Okay.
And if anyone's ever seen me miscommunicating, trying to use a phone, because there's like buttons don't have buttons anymore. You have to touch a screen instead of a key, like a BlackBerry. I was a proper phone, for fuck's sake, with a keyboard on it. Fuck phones. They're not. Yeah. Phones are for calling taxis when you're in the pub. They're not for reading rule books or fucking browsing the internet. It's fucking hot garbage. I still carry an MP3 player with me that I've downloaded music onto from my CDs. That's what I listen to whenever I'm going from point A to point B.
Yeah, I use an MP3 player when I go to sleep. I don't want that. The bedroom is a smart device free zone.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm tech support. Just rub a bar magnet over it and sprinkle it with chicken blood. That'll fix it. Pretty sure that will fix it.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
It's a really weird Saga battle report. It's so strange going, there's a Hormigant attacking what used to be a mix of elves and medieval soldiers. Go team, go. Nick, I love Saga Age of Magic for that. Fucking good team.
Nick, yes you can. They are very sparse, but there are actually still standalone MP3 players to be bought.
Oh, I bought mine about 12 years ago.
I didn't buy mine at all. Mine was a freebie with my Audible subscription.
Oh, that's right. Books on tape. I have books on tape. I don't have a cassette player anymore.
I have.
Yeah, Saga and a bit of magic. I'm not bitter about that.
Is there a Saga version with lasers?
No.
No sci-fi Saga?
No. Don't need sci-fi Saga. Saga's good enough. I seen somebody the other day say with the announcement of Age of Alexander, Saga are probably going to have to do sci-fi next or modern because they're running out of periods in the past. And I looked up at the shelf and went, no. Okay, Dark Ages, that's like a 150 to 200 year gap. Crusades, 150 to 200 years. The Fall of Rome, 150 to 200 years, and now we've got the Ancient Trilogy, which will, to be fair, cover probably about 800 years, but all within very specific geographic locations and areas. They could do Japan. They can go off to feudal Asia. They can do Mesoamerica. There are so many things before they even have to go, let's put in some aliens and lasers, and I really hope they do.
Tribal wars in Australia before Westerners come in.
Yeah, or all the sort of the Maori stuff and Pacific Islanders and that sort of shit. Yeah, there's more to the world than 600 years of Europe.
Even though most Europeans really don't understand that concept.
No, well, that'd be like that. You could even do Saga with dinosaurs. Why wouldn't you? Do Saga with dinosaurs is the real question.
You would have to have only dinosaurs because there were no humans.
Yes, exactly. 100%. Bricks and pliers at the ready. Jamascat. Bricks and pliers at the ready. Although that does leave me something. Who the fuck was that? Dan Mersey. Crispin, remember we were talking about Xenos Rampant ages ago, and you were asking me what I thought about it, and I was going, it's not due out until later on this year, blah, blah, blah. And you were saying, such and such is like a fan-made rule set that we've been playing for a while, or you were planning on playing at your club. I don't know if you bothered watching the interview I did with Dan, but he was actually saying that fan PDF that you were playing or planning on playing with your club, that is the Xenos Rampant book, kind of. That bloke had done that. Somebody went, have you seen this, to Dan? Dan went, that's really good. And then he was talking to the guy who wrote it and went, right, I'll give you my input on little tweaks and changes and how I would do it, but it's not something that Dan set out to go, Xenos Rampant's out there, I need to write my own version for fun and profit. This is that guy's fan version being published for all to see, which I thought was great.
Isn't that basically fanboy's wet dream? You come up with something and the creator where you're fanboying on goes, that's great, I want to publish that.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't it? Cyber dinosaurs with lasers coming soon. Yeah, well, there's more of those coming. Did anybody see the big bot war news, mind you?
Nope, I didn't.
Son of a bitch. The bots for the Atlanticans have been destroyed in the latest sort of fluff background.
All but one.
Omen is the only one left, and they're going to rebuild the bot shells into sort of Atlantican Mecca, like Pacific Rim job. Bam, bam, bam. It is. It's news. All the news is fit to print. News. We should spread that around. Shock, horror, gasp.
Why wasn't that on the news section on Friday then?
Because I'm fairly certain Ben isn't in the Bot War Discord channel, and I was too busy scrolling between 3 PDFs on 2 screens, swearing at the existence of digital and trying to put ships together. So that was Friday. Was a very rough day for anybody who was passing. Very rough day.
Yeah.
It was mentioned as a comment. Yeah, okay. Bot War doesn't involve dwarves of 40k. That is true. Well, we don't know that. I mean, it's possible there's dwarves in some of those, but we can't be entirely certain.
Would be optimal for piloting these because they use less space in the bots.
Coils, bound to have bots, or not bots, bound to have dwarves somewhere that they're stuffing into like planes and things. Templar 007. Look at you.
Hello,
in the middle of the week, and different time zone as well. You're in the States, aren't you? Or am I imagining that? I can't remember.
Lovely.
Everything blurs after a while. And it could be
while I have you here on the phone, I always find it weird to talk about Traders Galaxy as a company, knowing it's only Anthony. So, why do you keep people talking in a corporate multiple personality? It's odd.
Well, because they do. It's like heresy. It's just Andy.
Yeah, but Andy
there's so many companies
himself
out there.
And I need to check in with him again. He was waiting for some delivery for 3 days and was very pissed because the online tracking showed the car getting close and then not delivering and coming back again the next day.
Yeah, no, that's true. Moonstone. That's just Tom / Redmond, or whatever he was from the IT crowd. Richmond, sorry.
That was a very good reason. Plausible, deniable.
Yeah. How's life treating you over there in the US, Templar? You've just missed us go through random people's battle reports and then not read them, just look at the pictures and then complain that people don't put enough text in the battle reports. It's very meta commentary on the battle reports and the project system as a whole, I felt.
Yeah, but did you realize the project system did act up once today?
I seen mentioned from Ben yesterday that the site as a whole seemed to be less shit than it had been over the past couple of weeks. Because while it may be annoying for you to put a project up, imagine what it's like trying to put news articles up every hour.
Yeah, I guess so.
I thought Ben was just going to fucking pour water over his new PC. I can't do it anymore. I can't log in. Yeah, my PC is dead.
I think at that point I'd be writing all that stuff up in advance as a local copy and just copy paste. Publish.
He was, but that doesn't help if you can't put the pictures and stuff in.
True. That's very true. You're
still left going, why pictures? I kill you so much. I hate you.
That's WordPress for you.
Good, mate. I cherish my ignorance. What was I going to say? I was going to say something clever. I can't remember what it was there.
And sometimes ignorance is a bliss.
Yeah.
And on that happy note, I think
note.
I'll go to my fridge, grab myself a beer, and then have a nice evening.
All right, you do that. I'm going to
have some more licorice, paint chips.
No, I've eaten all my. Oh no, the ships were painted. Chris arrived from War Cradle on Monday. The ships had to be done by Sunday night, and I started them on Friday. 2 fucking fleets. Anyway.
Templar, 36th wedding anniversary. Wow. That makes you a very old fart.
Congrats, you well done.
Happy anniversary. Also, good luck, Mrs., getting yourself a husband that's still paying the bills and being a hobbyist.
Shocking stuff, right? Good night, you kids.
And please be safe, be sound, and maybe watch some more YouTube videos. What do I know? Have fun out there, kids. Goodbye.